Hey everyone, so I don't know if this is a bread pudding or French toast or apple pie baked skillet cake kind of thing. I have absolutely no clue what to call this recipe. I don't know what to name it, but it's okay because I'll figure that out when I'm editing this video and I have to actually make a title. Until then, take a sip of your favorite maple syrup because this recipe is going to use this and it is delicious, so let's just make it. I did mention that there are going to be apples in this recipe, and you're going to need 2 small apples. If you don't have 2 small apples, you can do a big apple, but sometimes smaller is better, so, we're just going to use the smaller ones. So chop these up because they're going to need some time to marinate. If you have one of those fancy corers where you could just stab the apple and then the core comes out, use that, but also I've heard the core is a myth. That is supposed to be the core right there. So I just quartered an apple and then took the middle part out. And if the core is a myth, I'm gonna take the stem off. If the core is a myth, I should be able to eat this. And it should just taste like apple. That was Is the apple core a myth? That tasted completely normal to me. Let's try it again. I'm cutting the bottom and the top off. So all I'm left with is literally, there's an apple seed in there, which I'm gonna take out. Because although the core might be a myth, apple seeds are still not. There we go. Guys, the apple core does not exist. Whoever told you that has been lying to you your whole life. All you gotta do is take the core of an apple and eat it. And then you'll realize there's no such thing as an apple core. Take your apple and chop it up into small cubes about the size of your fingernail. I shouldn't say that because some of you might have long fingernails, some of you might have short fingernails, so about the size of my fingernail. I was cutting onions on this cutting board last night and it still smells like onions, so we're just in for a bunch of surprises today. Once you have all your apples chopped up into small cubes, we gotta toss them in some sugar-free maple, a little bit of lemon juice because apple's brown, just like potato's brown. If you cut a potato and you just leave it sitting there chilling on the side, it's gonna change colors. Same with apples, same with avocados. That's about it that I can think of right now, but if you put some lemon juice or any acid, that's gonna stop that. And a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then I also put a little tiny pinch of salt, about a teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. You get yourself some plastic wrap, you put it on top, and you take out your frustrations. And now this is just gonna chill on the side for a bit. I got 4 slices of 45 calorie bread right here, except it's kind of 60 calorie bread because I put it on the food scale and I weighed it, and it's just heavier than what they say on the nutrition label. But if you don't weigh it, it's 45 calories, and if you weigh it, then it's 60 calories. Right here, I threw it in my air fryer on 400 degrees for just a minute and a half. If you don't wanna time it, that's completely fine. Put it in your air fryer, check your watch and get 150 steps in. Don't walk like your grandma, just walk at a regular pace. And when you get 150 steps in, go take that thing out of the air fryer. It's just a tiny bit toasted, but this just helps it absorb more liquid. This is a great way to use end pieces of your bread because sometimes you don't want to use those to make sandwiches. You can make this French toast bake out of it. But cut all your bread into cubes, just a tiny bit bigger than the apple slices. And once you have all your bread cubes ready, now would be a good time to preheat your oven because I forgot to do that. 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And we gotta make a little custard mixture kind of thing to put our bread in. So 100 grams of nut milk of choice. I'm using cashew milk because it's just the better nut. You can use almond if you want to. And then 100 grams of egg whites. The reason we're doing 100 grams of both cashew milk and egg whites is because I want to keep the vegans and the carnivores happy. I'm an equal guy, so equal plant milk, equal egg milk. And to this, we add our 3 extracts, a teaspoon of vanilla extract because that vanilla-ness is needed, a teaspoon of butter extract because I don't want to use butter because calories, and a teaspoon of cake batter extract because I just feel like a pastry chef today, and about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and a little tiny pinch, maybe around half a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. You don't have to use pumpkin pie spice if you don't want to. You could just use nutmeg. And if you're feeling a little basic, then just add this in there instead because it has nutmeg in it. It has cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, ginger, cloves. I'm not sure why the other spices aren't included in allspice, but it's not. It's listed separately. So a little sprinkle of this in. And I also like to put around a tablespoon of erythritol. You can use any sweetener you want to. The reason I use erythritol is because it adds a little bit of texture to this. I feel like it helps everything caramelize a little bit better. It also says, great for baking on the back of it. And so since it says that, I basically have to use it for baking. It's telling me to. And a pinch of salt. And now we mix. You like my new contraption? Look at this thing. If you don't want to whisk by hand, just hold the whisk and turn the handle. You don't need one of those expensive Peloton bikes. Nah, why work your legs anyway? Arms are the only thing that matters, so just get one of these and just do this all day long. I'm kidding. Don't skip leg day. This thing is stupid, just whisk normally. Now we have a pool of batter that our bread is just waiting to get soaked in. Take 2 spoons and give it a little toss. Get the bread partying in there, soaking up all the liquid. Look at these mini cast iron pans. I thought these were awesome, so I wanted to do 3 separate skillets, but cast iron is known for sticking, so spray them with oil. Maybe do it in your sink so you don't spray your entire kitchen counter like I did. All cleaned up. First, get the bread on a nice flat layer across everything. And when you got a flat layer of bread, there can be some holes, that's completely okay, but mostly the bottom is covered in bread. Now you want to fill in the holes and then just put apples across everything. You can just sprinkle it right on. Just grab a handful. Good thing I just wiped down my whole kitchen counter because I sprayed oil over it. It's clean. And then you're gonna have all your apples just layered on perfectly on all 3 skillets, or 1 skillet, however many skillets you're using. There's gonna be some extra apple juice. Tastes pretty good. Tastes like apple cider. It's a little spicy. Obligatory drink apple remainings when you make this recipe. Take the rest of your bread and just put it wherever you want to. If there's a little hole, put it there. If there's a little part of the apple you want to just fill it. And what you're left with is 3 apple skillets that I'm trying to pick up all 3 at the same time. I don't know why. There's really no reason for me to do this, but I want to. Aha, there we go. Are you impressed? I am. So carefully take these to your oven and put all 3 in at the exact same time. And I like to make a little yogurt mixture to top this thing off with. Of course, you could just use sugar-free syrup, but yogurt is good and tasty and creamier than maple syrup. And it starts with 100 grams of Greek yogurt. I have more cleaning to do. I'll be back. To thicken this up, I want to put some pudding mix in there. I'm using white chocolate because it just makes everything better. Apples, white chocolate. I don't really think that's a combo, but I just want white chocolate in this. I think it tastes better. You could use vanilla, of course. A teaspoon of cinnamon, vanilla extract, another teaspoon. I think that's a teaspoon, but I didn't look. And a sprinkle of salt. And Greek yogurt is tangy, and you don't want that tanginess. So a little more erythritol, around a tablespoon, and then 10 grams of sugar-free syrup, just to get that maple flavor all up in this. And in a matter of seconds, this thing has turned so thick. When you're comfortable doing that, which you will be because it's gonna be super thick, put it in your fridge and let it chill there until this is done baking. So in the middle of baking, you're gonna notice that the tops are starting to get a little too brown. I feel like I'm in a sauna right now, but you don't wanna let the tops burn, but you still want the apples to get softer. You want the bottom to cook completely. And the solution is really simple. Just put a piece of foil on top of them and close your oven door. These are out of the oven. They baked for 30 minutes, 10 minutes, and then I covered it with foil and then another 20 minutes. And then I just took them out and let them cool down just a little bit for the next 10 minutes because otherwise the cast iron is way too hot to even hold. If you want, you can just pick up the whole thing and just put it right on the plate and make a cake and stack them all up with some icing inside. Or you could do what I like to do, which is kind of treat it like a skillet cookie ice cream kind of thing, where you got your cold icing and then your warm skillet, and that combo is just, it's perfect. I just like to take a dollop of this and put it right on each one. And then you take a little extra sugar-free syrup and just drizzle that on, and oh my God, look at that. Cheers. If you want to, you could just pick up this thing and take a bite. Oh yeah. It's like a little sweet apple pie tart kind of thing. I'm just gonna cut into it. Look. Let's try that again. Some more bread, some more apple, and look at that bite right there. Apple, icing, bread. Is it French toast? Is it bread pudding? Is it a skillet cake? Is it apple pie? Is it pull-apart bread? I don't know, but it is delicious. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a like if you like it, subscribe if you're new. I have to clean up that piece of bread that fell over there, and I'll see you in the next one.